You ever drop off a bag of old clothes and just wonder, where does all of it really go? We do the whole decluttering thing, we downsize, we drop it off at a donation center, and we kind of just hope it all finds a happy new home. But the real journey of our unwanted stuff, oh, it is way more complex and honestly way more surprising than you could ever imagine. Okay, let's get into it. The great Leonard Cohen once said, diamonds, even when they're pawned, are never trash. And he's got a point, right? He's talking about things that have this deep, inherent value you just can't shake. But that brings up a really interesting question. Yeah, what about everything else? What about that t-shirt you haven't worn in 5 years? The old coffee maker? The couch that just doesn't fit your style anymore? What's their story after we say goodbye? That's the real question we're digging into in this explainer. So our story has to start at a place we've all been, the donation drop-off. This is that moment, the great handoff, where we give away our possessions and, let's be honest, the responsibility for what happens to them next.
I want you to picture this. It's a Saturday morning at a Goodwill in Tucson. The sun is just beating down, and there's a line of cars, all packed to the brim with the stuff that didn't sell at their garage sale. For the folks working there, this isn't just a weekend thing. It's a weekly flood, a relentless, never-ending tide of stuff. And this exact scene, it's playing out all over the country every single weekend.
And this constant flood of donations, it points to a much bigger issue, just the sheer scale of our accumulation. And this number, 90%, it really pulls back the curtain on how much we're all holding on to. You heard that right. Our stuff has literally pushed our cars out of the garage and onto the street. The one place that was designed for our vehicles has now become a personal storage unit for all the things we can't cram into the house anymore. And all of that excess stuff has spawned this absolutely massive industry. The US self-storage industry makes 3 times the annual revenue of the entire Hollywood box office. Just think about that for a second. We spend more money to store our old stuff than we do to watch blockbuster movies. It's a pretty powerful statement about our relationship with our things. So, after we've handed off all our belongings, what actually happens next? Well, they enter this really complex and often pretty emotional industrial process. You could call it the sorting machine. When a family member passes away or has to downsize, the sheer volume of a lifetime's worth of stuff can be just completely overwhelming. And this has created a whole new industry of professional house clearers. These people are like part undertaker, part logistics manager for our material lives. This quote, it really hits home. It's from a man who is dealing with his late mother's legacy. 2 expensive mini storage units, just packed with Beanie Babies and ceramic Christmas villages. And she paid for those units month after month for decades. The emotional and financial weight on the next generation is absolutely real. Now, these professionals, they don't just come in with a dumpster. They have a system, it's like a triage for a person's entire life. But take a close look at those categories. How much of the stuff we all own actually fits into that first one, the valuable one? And here it is, the cold, hard truth. Even with all our sentimental attachments, most of our stuff, that old sofa, the exercise bike in the corner, those mismatched kitchen gadgets, it's basically worthless on the secondhand market. It's not an asset, it's a liability that someone has to deal with. But what about the things that do have some life left in them, but just can't find a buyer where you live? Well, their journey is just getting started. Welcome to the global secondhand superhighway. Way over in Japan, end-of-life cleaners like Han Sadako, they stumbled onto something fascinating. Her clients, they weren't just looking for a clean apartment. What they really wanted was peace of mind. This idea that their loved one's belongings would keep being used and valued, even by a total stranger, that was incredibly comforting. So that desire, it created a global market. People like Han Sadako started exporting entire shipping containers full of used household goods. This created a huge network that connects a home in Tokyo with families in the Philippines, Vietnam, Nigeria, you name it. Your old pots and pans could literally go on a global adventure. So why is there so much demand for this stuff? Well, it really all comes down to perception. There's this powerful brand reputation attached to anything from a wealthy nation like Japan. The belief is, hey, if someone in a developed country owned it, it must be high quality and built to last. It's a status symbol and a smart purchase all rolled into one. But this whole global system, a system that's built on that very assumption of quality, it's now facing a huge threat. The actual nature of our stuff has changed, and it's led to a full-blown crisis of quality. I mean, just think about your grandparents' furniture compared to the stuff we buy today. We've gone from a world of goods that were designed to last a lifetime, things you could actually repair, to a world of products that are basically designed to be used for a season and then replaced. This quote from a professional mover just says it all. Particle board furniture, a staple in so many modern homes, it often can't even survive a single move across town. It was never built for a second home, let alone a second life in another country.
And you know where this crisis is most obvious? Our closets. With the explosion of fast fashion, cheap, trendy clothes made at lightning speed, we're buying more clothes than ever. But here's the kicker. We're wearing each item way, way less. And the result of that? A tsunami of low-quality, barely used clothes flooding the system. And this is the end result. The entire secondhand ecosystem, from your local Goodwill all the way to a market in Manila, is choking. It's choking on a flood of stuff that's too cheap to sell, it's too flimsy to repair, and it's often too complicated to even recycle. It was literally born to be trash.
So after this whole journey, from sorting centers and across oceans, what does it all mean for us? For you and me? It means we really need to start rethinking our relationship with our stuff. That simple act of donating a bag of clothes, it's not the end of this story. It is the beginning of a massive, energy-intensive global supply chain. The choices we make at the shopping mall have these incredible ripple effects that are felt in communities thousands of miles away. And that leaves us with one last thought. We now know that the things we get rid of don't just magically disappear. They go on a journey. So the next time you're about to buy something new, just ask yourself this. What story is this object going to tell long after I'm done with it?